Hi there, Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies here in my living room, and I'm just halfway through my living room sessions weekend retreat workshop that I do once a year or so here in Edmonton. And so we have folks from Alberta, but also somebody came all the way from Brazil for this workshop. And one of the things that came up was the three levels of dealing with risk, or three core strategies to deal with risk. And this is something I've talked about before, but I've never clarified it to this extent. So I'm really excited to share this with you. Ever since I started in marketing, learning from a lot of Jay Abraham's stuff, he speaks a lot about risk reversal and all of this. And so it's something I've shared in most of my day-long workshops. In my, if you go to marketingforhippies.com/intro, you'll see my the video version of that workshop. And so I've spoken about risk, but I've almost never written about it in any of my blog posts. I haven't talked about it in almost any of my videos or any of my ebooks. And I was going through some old notes and I found this huge chunk of material on it, things that I'd gotten from Jay Abraham and other books and other sources. And I realized that in my day-long workshop, I talk about the three roles of marketing. That you get their attention, you filter, and then you lower the risk. And for getting the attention, I just put up a video. If you check on my YouTube channel, you'll see a video I did about word of mouth marketing and the three kind of levels of that, making what you're doing, making it worthwhile for people to spread the word, making it easy to spread the word, and making it what you're doing remarkable enough that people want to spread the word. Within the filtering level, there are three things: relevance, credibility, value. And so I was wanting three things for the risk piece as well. And so this is what I've realized: you could distill pretty much any way of reducing risk down to one of these three, and I'm going to give them in order. So here's why this matters. You could have somebody, you could get the attention of some people in the marketplace, and they check it out and they say, oh, that's relevant, and I trust that person, and that's a really good deal. And they're basically a yes. They say, yes, I would like to spend money on that. But they don't buy. Why? Because risk. Because it's, oh my gosh, it's if I spend money on that, what if it goes wrong? What will people say? All these things. And it's like there's a wall between you and your ideal client. And they want to jump over the wall, but it's just physically too high. They can't get over it. And so reducing risk is like reducing that wall. So you could reduce it, you could eliminate it, you could even turn it into a downward slope where it's just gravity brings them to you. But reducing risk is one of those things that you could give me the same offer, and all we do is change that, and you see 4 times the response, 10 times, 20 times the response. And that sounds like exaggeration, but it's not, because I've experienced it myself. So this has immense implications. If there was one thing I could give people that would give them the fastest return on investment, it would be this. Not every business has huge risks, so it's not equally applicable for everyone. But there are some businesses where it's financially, emotionally, time-wise, there's just it asks a lot of people. And you can't always deal with those risks, but sometimes you can. Anyways, here's the 3 things. The most important thing that you can do to reduce the perception of risk is develop a good reputation in the marketplace, which ties it back to the word of mouth, because that's why people talk about something. What you're doing is remarkable. But that's the biggest thing. If you can establish a very strong reputation, both for your integrity, but also that you get the job done, you really produce results, this is going to reduce risk. For example, you're a holistic practitioner. Now, if you're a generalist and you just help everyone with everything, in a general sort of way, and then you try to offer some huge, expensive package, people are going to look at it and say, well, what do I get from this? Well, results vary, and who knows, really, actually, it depends on you, and it's actually all about how open you are, and if you're open, you'll get results, and if you're not, you won't. This is not compelling for anyone, and it's not particularly trustworthy, and there's a lot of risk in it. Versus if you're a holistic practitioner and you have focused for years, let's say, on eliminating allergies, and you've been really good at it, and you have a track record, and you have dozens and dozens of people who have come to you with allergies and who no longer have them anymore. This does the most to reduce risk, because somebody's saying, oh God, I got these allergies, what do I do? And then 3 people they talk to say, you should go see this person. I had allergies, now they're gone. You see what I'm saying? That's going to reduce risk more than anything, because it's their friends. There's no selfish interest. There's no profit motive for them to be endorsing you. That's number 1. Number 2, education. Even sometimes if people are endorsing you, the people to whom they're endorsing might still wonder, but how does this work? This seems too good to be true, and you never ever want to have them feel like it's too good to be true, or it seems so ungrounded, it doesn't make sense to me. So education is so important, and so my ebook, Point of View Marketing, that's all about this, where you're basically saying, look, you're on island A, you want to be on island B? Here's my opinion, my take, my process, my approach, my philosophy on how you get from one island to the other. Or if you sell a product, you want to buy this kind of product? Well, here's my opinion and my beliefs about how this product should be made. So that education could do an immense amount to reduce the risk, because it goes from a total unknown where, God, how does this work? And I don't know, that seems like a lot of money for this, to when they really understand what's involved in it and they say, oh, okay, boy, I should probably be paying them more for this. So education is huge. This is the main purpose of intro workshops, sales letters, teleseminars at that intro level, is to educate them about your point of view, about your philosophy, to educate them about, here's what the nature of your issue is, here's why it exists, here's why it hurts so bad, here's what's going on underneath the hood of your car. You may hear the noise, you've got the symptom, but I can tell you what's going on at the diagnosis level. Okay. And the third, still important, but not the most important, although it's the flashiest, I would say. And if you've got the first 2 basically handled, which most people don't, but if you did, this third can be an utter game changer, which is you take on the risk in the interaction. When 2 people enter into an interaction, you've got the buyer and the seller. One of those people is being asked to take on some of the risk, all the risk, or more than all the risk. Yeah. And it's almost always the buyer that's being asked to take on the risk. So if you, as the vendor, as the person selling the product or service, can take on some of that risk, that reduces all the risk, eliminates the wall, or more than all the risk, that's the risk reversal. That's going to have a really profound impact on whether people buy, because again, they can be standing there on their side of the wall saying, yes, I'm in, and they just can't get over it. And if all you do is reduce or eliminate or reverse the wall, if you just reduce it, that often gets a lot of them over. So for example, I do all my live day long and weekend workshops on a pay what you can basis. And when I ask people, I say, look, when you signed up, there were 3 options for payment. You could pay a single payment of $200. You could do a 3-pay of $67. Or you could do a $25 deposit, pay what you can. I said, so for all the pay what you can people, which is almost all of them who come, raise your hand if you would have come to this, honestly, if you would have come, if the only way to attend was to pay the $200 up front. And the most I've seen, the smallest ratio is 1 to 4, meaning I got 4 times the response, and the biggest I've seen is 20, meaning 20 times the response for the same offer, just by changing the price, just by me taking on the risk and saying, look, you come, I'll do the workshop, I only get paid if it's good. Yeah. In my Meantime program, I do once a year, it's a 30-day cash flow program, it happens every January. And I say, look, it's a $100 program for 30 days, and the deal is this: you will make $100 guaranteed on this program. So first of all, $100 is not much. That's a very low price for a 30-day program. But then I say, here's how I know you'll make $100, because what I'm teaching is good. So I think if you apply it, you're going to get 100. But if not, I will not only refund the $100, I will also send you $100 out of my own pocket. So it's just guaranteed. So that's what you call a double your money back guarantee. So that's a risk reversal. And of course, any of the pink spoons that you create, you've heard me, little free samples of your work. That's you taking on the risk, saying, look, I'm willing to share this and just put this out publicly so you can check me out. I'm willing to give you a free 15-minute foot massage. I'm willing to give you a free 30 minutes of coaching, whatever it is, just because I think that'll help lower the risk for you. I think that'll help make it feel safer. and I'm willing to take on the risk of spending the time or, sharing my content publicly. Those can be little examples. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. But the main thing to be thinking about at that level is, what are the risks that they perceive in this interaction? And then how do I take on some of those risks for myself? If you do all three of those things, you'd be amazed at the difference. And again, you can't establish a good reputation being everything for everyone. So this gets back to the niching conversation. But if you're willing to establish a niche and become really good at what you do, so what you're doing is remarkable, you're really producing good results for people. If you do that, and then if you're willing to educate people about your philosophy and approach to your work, fairly in-depth, that's the point of view work, and then you're willing to take on some of the risk yourself, you'd see a dramatic difference in how people respond to your offers. So those are the three core strategies for risk reversal. I'm going to put a link below to a blog post that goes into this in much more detail with a lot more examples, with credits given to the various books and sources I got it from, which I recommend checking out, good resources. And if you have any questions about this or comments, please feel free to put it in the comments below. I'd be happy to respond, and maybe there'd be another video in it. Thanks so much.